And welcome back to Hannity. My friend Elisabeth Hasselbeck made her debut as the new host of Fox and Friends yesterday. So when the program ended, I invaded her new set to welcome her to the Fox family. Joining us now, Elisabeth Hasselbeck. Glad to have you. How are you?
My goodness, I'm doing well.
You had a great experience at The View, but you were kind of a voice in the wilderness over there.
Yeah, which I didn't mind.
You didn't mind at all?
No, I think that, you know, I grew up, most of my friends never thought exactly like I did. And certainly there, no one was thinking like I did. And after a while, it just becomes a trained muscle. The odd thing is now, you know, not feeling so absolutely on guard all the time. And even today, we had some great discussions. Not everyone was saying the same thing, but I think that, you know, the environment is a tad different. Although Sherry did show up today, which was that was a bonus.
How did you become a conservative? I remember how I did. How did you become one?
Well, you know, my parents always allowed us to just think for ourselves. I remember being with my dad, going into a voting booth, and him not telling me who he was going to vote for, and it was still something that was open, and our political discussions were varied. And so they really have such independent minds themselves and wanted to develop, I think, just a system around our kitchen table that worked for developing thought. And I think it really happened coming out of college for me, working. I really think getting into the workforce opened my eyes to what that means to really be a conservative. I always joke, though, I don't have to define myself as one because everyone else always puts that label before conservatives, where you have a bunch of people out there who may think quite differently, but the word liberal never comes before their name. You know, the adjective for me is almost unfairly thrown into articles or descriptives. I mean, I just it's only on one side that they'll put that title there, and you know, we know which one that is. What
were some of the fun experiences? I remember watching you when you interviewed President Obama a couple of times. You did, right? What did you think of him? Did you get any insight from that?
You know what's funny is I ran with, you know, because the Secret Service comes and they combs the office beforehand, and I actually wrote, you know, produced my questions and wrote all my questions myself, but I had them on these blue cards with Sharp. Anyone who knows me knows I have a Sharpie, a highlighter, and blue cards on me at all times. Right now, you just can't see them.
Right, you have them. Right. They're hidden.
And I went for a 6-mile run. They said, you have 3 hours. I thought, I'll run, come back, get ready. Left, went out, ran Central Park, 6 miles. Well, it turns out the security check took 2 hours longer, so there I am. Sweaty, but thankfully I had all my notes that I needed for the interview. Ended up going in, they said the president wants to see you in 15 minutes. I said, well, there goes show prep. But we went in, and in person, I actually think, you know, when you peel back the politics and you are able to see the person, the father, the husband, the man who really, in his mind, is trying to serve this country the best way that he knows how, I was able to have some good conversation with him just about parenting. And I think that that's a privilege.
It is.
Bottom line is, this is the president of our nation, so there is a great deal of respect in any way. And I had some questions for him. He was trying to read my cards, you know.
Was he?
Yeah, like what's next?
Was he kidding you? I remember. He seemed, it was a respectful dialogue, which I liked. I'd like to see him do more of that, though. Let me ask you a question about politics and demographics. You're young, you're female. The image that some people have, I'm a conservative, I'm not a registered Republican, you can register as a conservative in New York, is that the Republicans are somehow anti-woman, and the demographics are women tend to go vote Democrat, young women in particular. You're a young woman. Why do you think your generation or younger women tend to vote that way in large numbers? I mean, many of the women that I know in my age bracket probably voted the other way. You know, enough didn't. I think that there is a misconception out there that you cannot possibly be conservative and for a woman's voice and women's rights. And it always infuriates me, and you know this from the past when there have been issues where conservative women are attacked, either verbally or, you know, in print, and nothing is said by the women organizations out there. You know, you look at now and you wonder, where are they now for conservative women? You have to be willing to support women of all thoughts if you truly support women. And the irony is,
You're actually not. You just want women to think the way you think, coming from the other side of the aisle. And I like the dialogue, and I think that conservative women understand that they see the checkbook in the home. Okay, they're dealing with bills. They understand that their taxes are actually going somewhere. They see them going away. They understand that their children's education is now something we have to question at the collegiate level. I'm paying tuition for some sort of indoctrination.
That's a great point.
You know, these topics are coming up, and we're wondering, and on the flip side of that college education that I've worked my entire life for, my husband's worked his entire life for, my kid now doesn't have a job. How is that possible? I
a lot
just
of kids
think,
moving back home with mom and dad.
Yeah, I think the idea that women can't be conservative, they're not until they end up looking at the bills.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, it is really, we've been friends a long time. It's been fun. We've been out on the road together.
Yeah.
And it's really great to have you here. I want to just say welcome, congratulations. We'll be watching every morning. And it's really great to have you here at Fox. So,
Sean, thank you. First of all, thanks for coming by. I made it really special that you did, and I am just thrilled to be part of such an amazing team. The leadership from top down is something special here. It is.
Elizabeth,
thank you.
Way, good to see you. Welcome.
We'll hope for a good second day, too. Am I still here? Did I pass the test the first
You're
day?
in. You'll be here for many years to come.
Okay.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thanks,
welcome.
Sean.